Hello everybody, David from Flash by Vcyclenut. I am excited and proud to finally introduce the stock bike flash for the Honda Hornet 750, the 2025 model. It's taken me, as you can see if you watched my stock bike testing, about 350 or so miles of street riding and dyno testing to get it fully dialed in for the stock bike. So when I do my development, I ride it both on the street and on the dyno. On street riding is the only way you can really properly assess the throttle maps and the best way to tune part throttle fueling, as well as the ignition maps and everything else that goes along with the tuning. So I wanted to make a short video, explain some of the work that I've put into it and how to get the best from it. So I have the display here so that I can talk about the nine different modes that you kind of have with how this is set up. On this screen here, if we go using that weird looking joystick little thing, if we go to here to the different panes and we scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see that this screen, and we're on user mode 1 now, then there's user 2, then there's the default mode, which is standard, sport, and rain. And it shows you in all of those modes what the different settings are. P being, like I said, power, EB being brake control, and T for the torque control. So I've developed 9 different throttle maps, one for each of the different power modes and one for each of the associated electronic brake control. So unfortunately, you can't just change these as you want. What I do think will happen is that most of you will find electronic brake control that you like. So just like stock, with it at the highest level, if we had the bar up to here, that would have the least amount of engine braking, and if where it's at now, it would have the most. I did go through all of those tables and massage them and put a lot of time into riding it and really getting the feel that I wanted. I didn't feel that there was enough difference in the different engine braking modes stock. So it's not like if you're in the engine brake 3 that you don't have engine braking. It's just less than it is in 1. I timed it. It's really kind of hard to do. It took about a second less to slow down from 8 to 4,000 RPMs in 4th gear with it on 1 than it on 3. So a little bit less engine braking, not drastically, but you can really notice it, and it does make it to be easier to be much more smooth with the engine braking less. I also developed 3 different power modes associated with it. So you have, just like stock, the power mode 1 will be the least aggressive. The middle, where we're at now, would be more aggressive, and then mode 3 would be the most aggressive. And again, I didn't feel that there was enough of a difference between them stock, and it's very, very noticeable now. What's cool with, if you're in, let's say, power mode 3 with the most aggressive, if you can combine that with the engine braking of 3, which is the least aggressive engine braking, the on-off throttle response is amazingly smooth for how aggressive the throttle is. Like I said, it's night and day difference between power mode 1 and 3 in the aggressiveness of the throttle. So unfortunately, stock, all we have is the 2 user modes that we have to preset, which I'll show you how to do here in a second. And then we have the 3 predefined regular rider modes of standard, sport, and rain. So let's show you how to go through, because like I said, I think you'll find that there is an engine braking setting that each of you like, and then you can set up the other 2 custom modes so that you have both of the power modes, so you have all 3 power modes available with that engine braking mode. So let's take a look at how to do that. So if we use the little thumbstick, and while the bike's not running, we scroll down to where the gears are, that is the settings. If we click it to the right, the first thing, and click it to the right again, we get riding mode. and we can see it. This is where we can adjust those rider modes, the personal 1 and 2, or the rider 1 and rider 2. So I like the engine braking setting at 3. And so for rider mode 1, I'm going to set power mode at the most aggressive, with the engine braking at the least aggressive, and with the traction control at the least. Then I'm going to go into rider mode 2, and I'm going to set that with the same thing, except I'm going to set it at the less aggressive power mode. Now for me, rain mode I'm probably not going to use it, so I would just leave the preset one the way it is. And with that throttle being as unaggressive as it is, it's just really, really smooth in whatever the engine braking modes that you are. So this way, if I have these preset here, and now I exit out of this, and I go back to that screen that I was on before that shows you, your settings. If I scroll through the rider modes, now I have one where I got full power, and then just with the push of the button, if I want a little bit less power, but with that same engine brake, or not less power, but less aggressiveness, then I just hit the mode button and it goes to there. If I want to go all the way down to the low power, I got to hit the button a bunch of times, unfortunately, because you can't scroll the other direction to get it to the rain mode. So I hope that helps you guys understand. I am going to put a graph up of how the different power modes, how they look on the throttle. I think graphs help people. And so this will help you, I think, help understand the work that I've put into it and the differences, so that when you get the flash, you can really appreciate the differences. So feel free to yell out in the comments if I am confusing as hell, or if anything doesn't seem to make sense. So thanks, guys.
So here is a simple graph to try to demonstrate how each of the different power modes how they work. So if we looked at this as a throttle response curve, medium power would be very linear and smooth, the most like a conventional throttle, where you get back what you put out, meaning if you turn the throttle to 50%, you get 50% throttle, all the way up to 100% throttle, where you get 100%. If we're looking at the low power mode, or power mode 1, you'll see it starts out slower, so you're actually getting less than what you put back in, or what you put in, and then it ramps up quickly at the end to get you to 100% throttle, so it still makes full power at full throttle. Or power mode 3, or full power, is the opposite of low power, where it ramps up quickly, giving you a very aggressive throttle response return early in the throttle, and then at the end it flattens out, so it still gets to 100%. It's very close to 100% throttle at 75% turn. If I make it so it's actually at 100%, then it gets really weird when you're at 100% throttle and you roll back and the throttle doesn't close at all. So that's why it's got to be close to 100%, but not quite 100% for when you get there. So hopefully this helps you understand the throttle response from each of the different power modes, and helps you get more from the flash. All right, 8 minutes into the video, we finally get into the dyno runs. So here is what my 2025 Honda CB750 Hornet made all stock. We got almost 82 horsepower and 54 pound-feet of torque. Nice numbers, ugly shape, lots of holes. Let's see what we get with my custom ECU mapping. And with just not changing any parts, just my mapping, we jumped all the way up to 89 horsepower and 54.5 pound-feet of torque. Really much better shape curve. Little dip still here, but much better shape curve than it was before. And so let's take a look at when we compare this now to where we were when we started. And as you can see, the gains are really, really impressive for, again, no parts change. This is 100% stock bike. I haven't done anything to the intake yet. I will start testing that next before I start bolting up exhaust, see if we can do any simple mods that free up some power. But this was with that DB killer in, fully just 100% stock. These are the gains I was able to achieve. And I can't quantify the part throttle response improvements, the smoothness improvements, just the rideability and fun factor of the bike and how it jumps up. Unfortunately, I can't quantify that, but they are very much improved. Also, you can see, look at these gains down here, just above 3,000 RPMs to like 5,400 RPMs. Just really nice gains in the bottom, and these gains on top are silly. I was really excited when this thing made almost 82 horsepower stock with mapping and making almost 90, like 89 horsepower That's just really, really, really impressive. Great job, Honda. Really, really stoked with these results and where we're going to end up. So let's take a look at a couple other things. I want to show you how it differs with all the different gears compared to stock. Let's start with that. And so what we're looking at here is the different gears comparing stock in full power mode, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, and sixth gear versus where it is now with the flash. So if I make labels on these, they get even more confusing. But if you take your time and you really look at it, you can see that these are just nuts. Here is red. The red line is second gear stock, and this line right here is second gear now. This blue line is third gear stock, third gear now. Green line is fourth gear stock, red line now. This, where are we at? Yeah, this, it's even harder to tell here. So this line right here is fifth gear stock, and that is fifth gear now. And because of the speed limiter, which I showed on that previous video, is eliminated, this is sixth gear stock where it doesn't wind out even remotely close, and now we can see this. So you can imagine the difference in acceleration through the gears if we were going from here to here to here versus here to here to here to here. So really, really, really nice improvements across every gear. Really greatly improves the acceleration and the fun factor of the bike. Let's take a look at now all the modes so I can show you that they still all make full power at full throttle. So here are the 3 runs in fifth gear across the different modes. The red line is in full power, the blue line is in low power, and the green line is in medium power, and you can see they're all virtually identical. So if somebody wants to claim this is a hero run, they can piss off because I got 3 runs almost identical. So this is awesome results. I'm really excited and happy and proud. Really put a lot of work into it, and you will know it when you ride the bike. I will continue development. Like I said, we'll start messing and see if I can get anything free improvements with airbox mods. And then we'll go to some slip-on exhaust, and then I got some full exhaust here that we'll continue testing. As you see, it takes me a little while to go through because the way I tune, with both doing street tuning and dyno mapping, to get everything really dialed in properly, it takes a little bit of time. You won't see me posting up, 6 videos a week. It just takes too long with how I do it. And now we're rolling into fall over here in the Pacific Northwest, so I will be a little bit at the mercy of weather, but you can be assured that I will be working hard every day. So thanks guys for watching. Remember that subscribe and like button for more motorcycle related content. Head on over to Vcyclenut.com, your very best in flashing needs. And if you got a Honda Hornet, let's get that thing flashed and running as it should. Peace, everybody. Dirty side down. Appreciate you.